Good morning. Well, it's Tuesday and that can only mean one thing, the weekly vlog from me. My name's Claire Baker. I'm a former clutterholic, founder of clutterclearing.net, and I am on my own clutter clearing journey. I am clearing my weight clutter that has been an issue for many years for me, and since November 2015 I have been slowly and steadily dealing with it week by week, and I now record this weekly vlog just as a motivation and also as a sharing opportunity. It does help me to be accountable to you, knowing that you are watching this video every week, and as with any type of personal challenge, accountability is key. My clients who have accountability, either to me or to a group, find that they have much better success rates. They would otherwise give up. And I find the same for me. I have accountability to you with my weekly vlog, but I also have accountability with a weekly counsellor who helps me understand the triggers actually now to my emotional eating. Okay, so as always, I compare my journey each week by 5 different success criteria: feedback and learning, the method, doing the doing, support and motivation, and time. Now, you may remember last week I shared with you what I actually do for all of those things on a weekly basis, and it is quite tiring when I look at it in a table like I shared with you last week. And some people said to me, Claire, crikey, where do you find the time? And it's interesting because the issue of time is a big one for my clients with their physical clutter in their home. And the reality is that we don't find time. There are only 168 hours in a week, and there are only so many things we can do with those 168 hours a week. I can't wave a magic wand and give you more. And we need to sleep for a certain number of them, and there are other daily essentials that take up time necessarily. So we can't make time. We can't create time. I can't give you time, but we have to make time. We have to prioritize certain things in our lives if we want to achieve certain goals. So for me, with my weight loss clutter clearing journey, I make time for going to the gym and doing my swimming, and I do that because I no longer watch the soaps. I used to watch 2 soaps here in the UK, and although each one is only half an hour long, one of them would be on twice a night, and it would span a period of 2.5 hours. So I could be sat in front of the TV for 2.5 hours in the evening, doing nothing, comfort eating, while sitting there. And I don't do that anymore. I now go to the gym instead, do something more productive with my time, 3 evenings a week. I realise that the soap programmes are still going to be there. They're still going to get paid for acting, whereas actually I want to live real life and actually achieve some of my goals. So again, I have a choice. I can either sit and watch telly, or I can go and do something which is going to get me one step closer towards my goal. I don't do it to the exclusion of TV. There are very often very good dramas on the BBC at 9 o'clock in the evening. And although we're not necessarily back from the gym by then, we can watch it on the iPlayer catch-up. And so I do still watch things that I want to watch because I do like the dramas, but I'm very picky. And I'm not obsessive about watching the soaps like I used to be. I didn't think at the time that I was obsessive, but with hindsight, I probably was. So again, it's about prioritising, choosing. You can't have it all. You can't clear your clutter and keep it. So again, we have to make choices, don't we? We have to make informed choices. And when we're ready to make the commitment, then we find a way of doing it. Okay, so this week over the last... Oh, happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Not that my husband and I celebrate it. He does thoughtful things for me every day. So like he does breakfast. So today he did our cooked breakfast. I think that's very thoughtful and kind of him. We don't have stereotypical roles. I don't do all the cooking and the cleaning and the ironing. He does his share. Yes, so I'd much rather he did something nice for me every day rather than buy me flowers or buy me cards because of a particular day. Obviously in the first year, 2 years that we were together, we did do a sort of romantic thing. Valentine's Day already means we're 6 weeks into the new year. Incidentally, I can't remember what the figure. I think it's something like 98% of people will have given up on their New Year's resolutions by now. But you're not one of them because you're watching this, so that's good. All right, my weight loss this morning was 2.5 pounds. Which means the changes that I made last week have made a difference. What did I do? I swapped my lunch of cheese cubes to roast chicken, so lower in calories and lower in fat, so they're not converted to calories. No longer have clotted cream on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Just had that at the weekend. I am quite surprised as well at 2.5 pound weight loss, because last Tuesday, and this is an interesting feedback, last Tuesday I had reached my 5 stone goal, level in 1 calendar year, and I went off for my counselling, and I proudly told Marisa that I had reached that. And what did I then do? I had to go and post some things. Some clients or some customers have bought DIY kits. So I went off into the post office, which has moved. It is now in the shopping centre in Banbury, and that is very close to Marks and Spencer's, which is a supermarket, which is a department store, which has a food area. And I thought I'll go and buy my husband donuts because he likes the donuts from Marks and Spencer's. And I got myself a bag of white chocolate cookies, and I ate the lot, 5 of them. So high in carbohydrate, my carbohydrate spike on my chart was huge. And I was annoyed with myself, but the feedback, the learning, or the reminding was that for me, food has always served as a reward. Food has served as a comfort. Food has been that emotional connection. I did something good. Yay, food. And so again, I have to consciously find some other way of rewarding myself, which is as quick and easy as buying a bag of 5 cookies. It is ironic, I'm allergic to chocolate, but white chocolate is not made out of a cocoa bean, so I can eat white chocolate. And I like white chocolate, and of course it's got sugar in it, and the cookies have carbs in it. So yeah, so that was interesting, and at the moment I'm struggling to find something that is quick and easy as a reward that is as nice for me as cookies. Now that was last Tuesday, so I've had a week to counteract that, and it's showed on the scales, so that's a good thing. What else have I done this week? I've realised that I can bake and enjoy baking without eating. Last week I had the brainwave that, you know what, I like doing baking. I used to do quite a lot of it, contributed to a lot of the weight gain that I had in the last year before I started my journey. And I enjoyed the creativity of that, and people enjoying the food and cooking something from scratch, but obviously very high in sugar and carbohydrates. But last week, my husband, we realised that he's in a pattern of eating junk food, and I said to him, look, tell you what, how about on a Sunday, I do some baking, and I bake. I know they're not healthy because it's cakes and muffins, but it's still healthier than the ones that you buy in the stores because they are made from pure ingredients. The ones in the stores have the preservatives, the additives, the flavourings, whereas at least if I make them in a bowl here with pure ingredients, they are better. So this Sunday I made a dozen lemon curd muffins, and he finished eating them yesterday. Last night, And he enjoyed them, I enjoyed them. And in fact, this morning I got up at 7 o'clock to make a cherry and almond cake, or loaf, it's properly called, which, if you like, is my signature baking. And my husband has taken that with him to one of his regular clients. They are a garage, and I started years ago, I can't remember how, just sending them a cake. So now every time they order something, I make them a cherry and almond cake, and they have it with one of their many tea breaks that they have during the day. So my husband's gone off to fit some signs at theirs, and he's taken the loaf, he's taken the knife, and literally fresh out the oven this morning. I was going to do it last night, but we didn't get back from the gym until 10 o'clock, and I thought I can't be bothered to do it now, because otherwise it's going to be really late night. So I got up early this morning to do it, and I really enjoyed making that cake. It was Frank, my father-in-law's cake. He loved that cake. He liked the two ends. So it's nice to think that I can do the baking and I don't have to eat them to enjoy them. So I think this is going to be a happy relationship between me doing baking and my husband and others doing the eating. So that was a good thing, especially after Tuesday and the white chocolate cookies from Marks and Spencer's. I've realised that the numbers do matter. I reviewed my numbers last week. They went down, and they do make a difference. That's why I've had a 2.5 pound weight loss, is because I am on lower calories. I am noticing it. I do feel more hungry, but again, it's a nice feeling, because I know that my body is when I'm hungry, I need to eat rather than just want to eat. So it's okay to be hungry. I've noticed yesterday, I noticed at the gym that it does matter to me now what I wear at the gym. I'll explain. My workout gear, the trousers, were in the wash, and they didn't get hung up in time yesterday to be dry by the time we went to the gym in the evening. So I wore an old pair of like tracksuit trousers, which were thicker material. They weren't like the lycra breathable, and it was really strange. It felt heavier, it felt thicker, it felt like I was fatter, and the tracksuit bottoms I wore were ones that I had worn when I did Weight Watchers back in 2009. And I don't know whether it's subconsciously I'd made that connection with that. That wasn't a great experience, because obviously the weight went back on. But I now know it's important that if I'm washing my gym gear, I wash it on a Friday after we come home, so that it is then ready for the following Monday, for the following week. Because I don't like wearing old clothes that have negative emotional connections. And again, not everybody has emotional connections. We've talked about the emotional intelligence before, but yeah, I was surprised by that yesterday. Oh, and another feedback learning is that I actually need to get the next size down underwear. Woohoo! How ironic, it's Valentine's Day and I need new underwear. So I'm going to go off and try and get a haircut later today. And I might just pop into Marks and Spencer's, not to the cookie counter, but to the underwear, because doesn't everybody buy their underwear from Marks and Spencer's in the UK, and buy some underwear in the next size down. So that's really good feedback from this week for me. Method, like I say, the changing the numbers really helped. Changing the cheese for chicken really helped, and cutting out the Tuesday and Thursday cream and fruit. Now, I haven't actually got counselling this week because it's half term here in the UK, but next week I need to actually ask Marisa, my counsellor, about yoghurt, because she mentioned yoghurt last week, that it was a good alternative to the clotted cream. But then when I looked in the supermarket last night, they were low in calories but very high in sugar. So I'm not quite sure which one I should be going with. I didn't have enough time to really study them massively. My husband was outside, we were on our bikes. But yeah, a bit confused about this switching cream to yoghurt, because the yoghurts appear to be really high in sugars. But again, making a note of it to ask Marisa next week. Doing the doing. Yes, I shared last week that I do gym and swimming on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, that is changing. I'm going to be doing swimming on a Tuesday and a Thursday now. So I'm actually going to be going to the gym every day each week. Crazy. Why? Well, when I do 50 lengths in the pool, it only takes me half an hour. So I can easily tag that on after a 45-minute gym workout. Whereas I have booked up, I am officially doing the swimathon at the beginning of April. And for that, I need to be working and training to getting up to 100 lengths of the pool. 100 lengths is going to take me about an hour to do. And tagging on an hour to the gym is just a little bit too much. So I'd rather do that separately. So the irony is that my husband and I are going to the gym tonight. And I will be going to the gym on a Thursday. And although I do my TRE, my stress release thing, on a Thursday, I can do it on the way back because I'm actually passing the gym on my way home. So that'll be quite good. And in terms of the other thing was that yesterday we cycled to the gym. So we've started cycling. Yay! Again, having had a couple of months off because of the weather. But actually what prompted it was the fact that we have on-street parking where we live. And very hard to get a parking space. And we're lucky we work from home. So we have a parking space normally, unless we happen to be out later than usual. But we go out to the gym at 8:15. By the time we come back at about 9:15, if we're in the car, or rather the van, my husband's van, the parking space is gone because every house in the road seems to have 2, if not 3 vehicles. So everybody's desperate for space. So I suggested to my husband last week, I said, well, you know what? We can get around this problem if we cycle, because the bikes come in the house. We don't need to move the cars. So it's extra exercise. Yip-de-doo. It takes half an hour to cycle to the gym. And it took us about, I don't know, probably 20-25 minutes to come back. We did come back via the supermarket, put things in our rucksack. My husband could do it in 15-20 minutes if it wasn't for me, but in a way that's a bit of a goal to say I'm going to get good enough with the cycling that we can actually race each other to the gym. That'd be quite good. But again, by splitting out the swimming and the gym so that I'm doing something each day, I'll be cycling each day. So that's going to be half an hour there, let's say half an hour back. That's going to be 5 extra hours of exercise a week. That's not bad. Even less flabby bits, because I'm only doing the exercise for the flabby bits. I'm not doing the exercise for calorie burn. I'm doing it for flabby bits. So yeah, so that's a shift that's actually going to happen this week in terms of doing the doing. Support and motivation. There's no TRE or counselling this week because it's half term. But again, that's okay. I'm not aware of any major issues, but then I never really am when I turn up to counselling. Yeah, the emotional intelligence, the link for emotion and food for me, big learning. That seed continues to grow. The TRE continues to be fantastic, even after a year. It's nearly a year that I've been doing it now. Still can't remember the stretches at the beginning, so still love to go along. It's like my evening class. And oh yes, support, motivation. My husband Keith, what's really lovely is that he's been saying quite a lot now when people say, when people find out about my weight loss or notice my weight loss, his standard phrase now is, yeah, she's got a bum now. Okay, so I was a lump of lard before. Well, I was a lump of lard. Whereas now, when I wear my jeans, which are slightly loose, I will need the next size down soon, but when I wear my jeans, you can actually see a curve of my bum. Now that is the weight loss, and that is the gym. I do 3 exercises in three exercises in particular, which will be helping my bum. So yeah, my husband sounds quite proud. He's not an emotional, expressive person, so for him to say that I've actually got a bum now, I I take that as a compliment. And then the last success factor, time. Like I said, I've signed up for this swimathon in April, which is raising money for Marie Curie cancer research. I'm doing it in honour of a lady called Jackie White. She was my husband's cousin's wife. She died in January. I believe it was from leukemia, but cancer. Lovely, lovely lady. She was a swimming teacher. And I used to do swimming, so when I saw it come up actually on Facebook that there was the swimathon, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it in Jackie's name. Now, Jackie was 54 when she died, so I've stupidly said my target for raising money is going to be £540, so I multiplied her age by 10, which means I need to raise £5.40 for every length that I do. Yeah, seemed like a good idea at the time. Anyway, the link is below. So I would love as many sponsors as possible to do this. It would be really great. To be honest, anything that is raised is got to be towards a good cause. Yeah, so I've signed up for the swimathon. So that's like a short-term goal in April. I've got my 1-year anniversary to work towards on the 1st of June. So that's February, March, April, May. So that's let's say 3.5 months until my 1-year anniversary of going to the gym. I'd quite like to get down a stone by then. I hope that's doable now the numbers have changed. And then at the end of September, my husband and I are taking my mother-in-law, June, infamous June, to a place called the Lake District in the UK, which is a beautiful, is it a park? Is it a national park? My friend has a cottage there. We rented it and took my father-in-law Frank there for his 85th. We're taking June there for her 80th at the end of September. And I'm going to set myself a goal of climbing a place called Cat Bells. Cat Bells is it a series of hills or is it a hill? But it is really quite high. Now, when we went there with Frank in 2000 and... when would that have been? No, it was his 85th. Yeah, his 85th birthday. So that would have been 2014 that we took Frank. I could not climb it. I could barely get to the starting point. I distinctly remember that there was actually an 86-year-old who was climbing with his family. That was embarrassing. So I'm setting myself a goal that by the end of September, I am able to climb Cat Bells with my husband when we go to Lake District. Not June, won't let her do it. Yes, that's what I'm going to do by the end of September. So I've kind of got a short, medium and long-term goal in terms of time to work towards. This shift that's happened this week because of changing the numbers, changing the diet, the success that I've had with the shifts that I've made this week, you know, kind of like really motivated me going, yes, let's have some good goals. So let me know how you are getting on with your clutter clearing or weight loss journey in the comment box below. Like I say, the link, if you would like to sponsor me, is below. I would appreciate anything that anybody can give. Even if it's, what did I work out? If it was 10p per length that I was sponsored, then that would be £10. And when I was a charity fundraiser, I used to have an annoying saying. I have many, but my annoying saying was, lots of littles make a lot. So if everybody sponsored me just £10 or $10, then we could soon snowball that into quite a lot. So I would appreciate any support that you can give. All right, I'm going to stop talking. I've done a lot of talking this morning, but I hope you've had a good week. Enjoy half term if you are on half term. Keep up the good work, and I shall see you same time, same place next week. Take care. Bye-bye.